August 18th, 2002.
December 12th, 2011.
August 29th, December 1st,
June 15th, 1991.
Was the scariest night.
Was the scariest night.
Was the scariest night.
Was the scariest night.
Was the scariest night of my life.
There was something there hovering over me. Something wasn't right.
I was terrified.
Something was in the apartment, and it was coming after us.
Just when we thought everything was okay, it wasn't over.
I was living a nightmare. I did not feel safe being inside the house.
All of a sudden, I feel the air change. She engulfed us in hatred. "11 years ago, when I was 5, I had an encounter. One night I was sleeping and suddenly woke up. I remember waking up and I saw a little girl standing in my room. She was standing near my bedroom door. She didn't seem to be a threat. I sat up and I rubbed my eyes in disbelief. I looked back up and she wasn't there anymore. She disappeared. That was the last time that I saw her. Me and my dad were having dinner, chatting about this and that. A little bit of school. I was telling him how well I was doing. He was pretty proud.
Any plans for tonight? Homework or anything?
I was actually having Emma over later.
Emma?
I told him I had my friend coming over. Me and my dad, we get along. It's a good relationship we have. My dad, he was working for the night, and it was going to be a time for me and my friend to hang out, watch some TV, play some games, stuff like that. My dad worked the night shift, so right after dinner, he left for his shift.
Clean this up for me? Thanks, bud. Have a good night. Just don't mess up the house.
I did get a feeling like there was someone in the kitchen. It felt like there was something there. But I didn't pay much attention to it. I was alone.
Hey, Emma, how's it going?
I was up in my bedroom, making sure that all the plans were still good with Emma.
Anywho, what time were you thinking about coming over?
I don't know, I'm just waiting for my dad.
Okay, you getting a ride?
Yeah.
We were just trying to figure out when she was coming over and how she'd get over. I was grabbed on the back of my thigh. I was just wearing a pair of shorts and felt two tugs on the back of my leg. I turned around and looked, and there was just nothing there. I didn't want to scare Emma, so I never really said anything. A couple of seconds later, I heard a faint giggle. I wasn't sure if it was something outside or if it was something inside, but I definitely heard a laugh that I've never heard before. I did ask Emma if she had laughed, and she said, "No, you didn't tell a joke." But I've never heard this laugh before. It was inside the house. It was almost like it was right behind my head. So it was pretty creepy. Before Emma showed up, I decided that I should go and check out the house. I don't know exactly what I was looking for. If I really felt there was someone in the house with me, but I wanted to be satisfied that I was alone. I looked around and there was absolutely nobody in the house, no way anybody could have got in. The windows were closed, and I didn't really have an explanation for what happened. Before Emma showed up, I got changed, put a shirt on after I took a shower and, cleaned up a little bit. The house did feel different. It did feel like it wasn't just me there at the time. It felt more like there was something there that was kind of hovering over me that wasn't there before. I was kind of on edge, and I don't know if my mind was playing tricks on me or what happened. I wasn't thinking straight. I got a hold of Emma and said everything was good to go. She sent me a text saying that her dad was giving her a ride and would be picking her up when she's ready to go home. I was pretty sure I heard the giggle again. I looked back and there was just nothing there. I looked down the hallway and there was nobody there. The giggle was a little girl. Nothing threatening, just kind of like a young girl playing is what it sounded like. The house did feel like there was something there that was kind of hovering over me. It did feel like, it wasn't just me there. It was spine-tingling. I just had a really bad feeling. So Emma shows up maybe 15 minutes later.
Hey!
Awesome!
How's it going?
As soon as she comes in, I grab her jacket, put it in the closet, and we sat down on the couch to start watching TV. was a perfect evening. Emma was with me, just hanging out and chilling. Emma had no idea about what happened before she showed up. I just tried to seem as normal and as natural as possible.
Great.
She has no idea that I heard what I heard and that I got tugged. There was a few moments where I kind of got that sensation that there was someone there. I kept turning around expecting to see somebody when it was just the two of us, and she was right beside me.
What are you doing?
I'll be right back, just don't worry.
I started hearing noises around the house and looked around. I looked upstairs. I didn't find anything. I didn't find anybody. There was nobody around. I kept telling Emma, you know, there's nothing to worry about, everything's fine. And I just sat back down and we continued to watch TV.
Where are you hearing it?
Oh, I just wanted to check something, it's fine.
She asked me a couple times, you know, what I was looking for or what I was hearing, but I was just trying to tell her I just kind of have an off feeling.
Okay.
I heard a faint giggle. I knew something wasn't right. That's when things kind of escalated, and I think that's when whatever was in my house decided that they had to step up their game.
What's up? Nothing. That's all. What happened? Sean.
Emma screamed.
Shoot, okay, yeah, 1 second.
Something scratched her leg. She said that there was a really bad burning on her leg. Seemed to be getting worse and worse as time went by.
That's really bad.
It looked like somebody took their nails and tried to dig it into her leg as hard as possible. It went down about a good 4 inches or so.
All right, there we go. Okay.
Do you have any pets?
After the attack, she was asking, is there somebody here or do I have any pets? I don't have dogs, cats, or anything. There was really no explanation as to what it was and what's going on. I finally got Emma to settle down. And immediately I heard a little girl giggling mischievously.
Did you hear that?
It was spine-tingling. It was the same giggle I heard earlier. There was definitely like a feeling that it wasn't just us in the house anymore. That's when I heard the little girl speak for the first time. She was almost taunting in a way. It wasn't like a little child asking, do you want to play with my toys? It was like a little girl saying, do you really want to play these games with me in a very threatening way?
You hear that?
Are you good?
It was almost like a little girl getting mad at you for something. It wasn't like she screamed at us, and it wasn't a whisper, but it was like she was just talking like, do you want to play? Like, do you want to play these games? It was almost like she was challenging to a game that she knew she'd win. I kept telling Emma, everything's okay, you're fine, everything's normal. At the same time, a part of me was like, you know, she got scratched, where does it go from here? I kept turning around expecting to see somebody when it was just the two of us. Something wasn't right. Whatever was in my house decided that they had to step up their game.
How you feeling there?
A bit more.
We were in the kitchen, and I'm making hot chocolate for us. Everything seemed perfectly normal. We were laughing, having a good time. All of a sudden, I feel the air change. She's back. I can't see her or hear her, but I know she's somewhere close.
Did you see that?
It's okay.
The phone flew across the kitchen. Just when we thought everything was okay, it wasn't over. She wasn't done playing. When the phone flew across the kitchen, that's really when Emma started to realize that it wasn't just coincidence, it was really something paranormal. It clicked. It's the girl. The little girl that I saw when I was 11 years ago. She was back, and she wasn't done playing.
Come on.
I turned to Emma, and I was like, we have to get out of here. She was exactly as I remember. It's like she just attached herself to me and wanted to keep me for herself.
Let's play.
It was like we were being, pushed around by this girl. We definitely felt trapped in the house. Eventually, we realized that the front door seemed like there was just nothing there, almost as if she forgot to block it. We grabbed everything, our coats, jackets, ran out of the house. That was the end of our night. And that was the scariest night of my life. This was the first time I've seen a little girl since I was 5 years old. She definitely had more of an attitude of, you know, he's mine, don't touch. You touch, I hurt you. Since I could see her and I had a connection with her when I was 5 years old, it's like she just attached herself to me and always wanted to protect me from anybody and keep me for herself. Almost not realizing that she isn't actually alive anymore. I believe what had happened to Emma happened because the little girl wanted to keep me for herself. There hasn't been anything that's happened since, but I haven't had any female friends over, just guys, and there's never any problems.
There was something in the apartment, and it felt like it was coming after us. I smelled a horrible smell, like something had died. I was absolutely terrified. My husband, Alan, and I were recently married, and we were looking for an apartment to move in to together. Alan is a retired U.S. Army veteran. We looked for an apartment for 6 months, and finally we found what we thought was the perfect apartment. Right by the lake, it had a sandy shore. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. It had great lighting inside, huge bedrooms, and a lot of space. It was exactly what we were looking for to start our lives together. We spent a couple of hours organizing things, so things were pretty much where I wanted them to be. We were exhausted after that long day, and I was actually very anxious to go see the lake. We sat on the grass and enjoyed the view. We were outside for maybe about 45 minutes. When we walked back into the apartment, our furniture had been flipped upside down, and there were clothes everywhere. The first thing that went through my mind was that somebody had broken into the apartment. We were baffled.
We locked the door when we left, didn't we? We locked it. I know we did.
Alan looked through the entire apartment. Our patio door was closed. There was no force of entry in our front door, and everything was shut. We were living on the 3rd story, so it was pretty impossible for anybody to break in. We were only outside for 45 minutes, so it didn't make any sense how there could be this much damage done. After what had happened, we wanted to have a small sit-down dinner and just kind of look back at what had happened. So I started cooking dinner, and Alan started picking up around the house. All of a sudden, I start to hear the snow globe that I had bought.
Alan?
There's no explanation to why it's going off. It never had music before. To my knowledge, when I bought it, it was not working. I had bought the snow globe at a nearby garage sale. I had asked my husband if he had fixed it, and he said that he would never touch the snow globe because he didn't like it. When I went to go turn it off, before I touched it, it shut off. The globe shut off by itself. I was very confused. I couldn't find an explanation as to why it was playing. We started hearing the snow globe going off again. At this point, I start getting very, very uneasy. We felt like the globe had something attached to it. We didn't know anything about the person that we had bought it from, so it could possibly have had something attached to it. I knew for a fact I had turned that thing off, and it didn't run on batteries. Alan tried to smash it, but there was no way. That thing had a mind of its own. I started getting really mad, and I told him that something needed to be done. I asked Alan if he could take the snow globe to the church trash because I couldn't handle it anymore. Alan took it outside, and he got in our car and went to throw it away. We thought that maybe by leaving it at the church, that maybe whatever it was that was around it would just go away. After Alan leaves, I'm still cleaning up around the house, trying to get it back to the way that it was. I was cleaning up all the books that had been thrown on the floor. I did not feel safe being inside the house. By the time that Alan came home, I was outside of the apartment waiting for him to get home. After Alan gets home, we go back inside and he assures me that everything is going to be okay. I started getting ready for bed, trying to unwind. And when I walked into my bathroom, I smelled a horrible smell, like something had died. I turned and looked at my mirror, and I saw you, Alan. It looked like blood.
Alan! Alan!
Our furniture had been flipped upside down. I was very uneasy. When I walked into my bathroom and looked at my mirror, it looked like blood.
Alan! Alan!
I screamed and Alan ran into the room.
What is all this?
I was absolutely terrified. There are no words. At this point, I didn't know what to believe. What I had found on the mirror was, it was like a threat to me, especially since it was written in blood. I didn't believe that anybody that was human would do something like this. I knew that this was something inhuman and demonic. We were churchgoers. We went every Sunday, and we were really involved in our church, so we couldn't understand why a demon would come to us. The demon was giving us a warning and a threat to get out. Having a demon coming into your life and scaring you and your family this way, you know, you can never imagine what the feeling is like. It looked like the demon had put their finger on the mirror and let the blood drip. It was not a bright red color like paint would be. It was dark, and it smelled. When we cleaned it off, we had to literally scrub it with an iron Brillo pad. It took us about 2 hours to scrub that blood off. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning before we finally were able to go to bed. We were completely exhausted. It was just time to let this rest. My bedroom door shut on me. And it's not opening. I hear Alan come to the door, and he starts turning the knob, trying to open it and shaking the door. I can hear that he's trying to force his way in.
Baby! What's happening? I'm coming through this! You're gonna be okay!
I screamed.
Baby!
Then there was a pressure on my chest, pushed me down to the ground. I couldn't scream anymore. I was laying flat on my back. I thought that I was gonna die. I screamed. The demon was giving us a warning to get out, written in blood. My bedroom door shut on me. I thought that I was gonna die. I was being pinned down and could barely breathe. I didn't think it could get any worse. I felt pressure from my chest down to my stomach. I thought that I was gonna die. I thought that was the end. Alan kept telling me, I'm coming, I'm coming.
Stop, are you okay? What's happening?
Try to open the door. Are you okay? Can you get up? I wasn't responding. I tried and I couldn't respond. I couldn't scream. The sound of Alan pushing on the door was getting faint and I didn't know what to do. I was paralyzed. My arms nor my feet could move. I think that the demon was trying to possess me and have a body to be in. And it's wanting to hurt me. At this time, I had prayer in my mind. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I couldn't breathe. And I thought that was the end for me. I couldn't hear Alan anymore. He tried everything to open the door. The demon was pushing against the door and wasn't allowing him to go in. I was able to hear Alan kick. At that moment, it was gone.
You okay? What happened?
I couldn't breathe.
What happened? Are you okay?
I felt released of the demon. At that point, I was able to breathe. This huge pressure was lifted off. I am extremely happy that I am with him and relieved that the demon allowed me to go. We couldn't spend another minute in there. I didn't care where we were going, but we had to leave. And as we headed out, although my head was spinning and my ears were ringing, I heard the faint music from the snow globe. Alan was sure that he threw the snow globe out at the church dumpster. We didn't know what to think. We had really no explanation as to why it would be back whatsoever. It was impossible. I was scared out of my mind. I feel like when the snow globe came back, that it was telling us that there is no way that you're getting away from me. At this point, I don't want to be at the apartment anymore. It was the scariest thing that I had ever encountered. I don't know how to describe that fear. And that was the scariest night of my life. We couldn't understand why it was happening to us. I don't think there was really an explanation. We were churchgoers. We went every Sunday. From everything that I had believed in growing up, I knew that this was something inhuman and demonic. After that night, we left. We've never gone back. I think that the demon was trying to possess me and have a body to be in. You know, you can never imagine what the feeling is like.